You have a sock in your bag. Do you know that? I said, yes, there's a mic inside.
I love that. We might open up with that. Or you've got a weird setup or something like that. It just cracked me up. I just laugh when I'm
Well, I think that's the idea is to make people feel something. If you can do that in an episode, in a podcast or in a post or article, whatever, you're on the right track.
from a process point of view, right? I feel like, first of all, from an exporting the file point of view, the longer it is, the longer the file, the longer it is. Maybe it's something that I need to learn, tweak on my end, because I'm not used to exporting long, like 25, 30-minute videos, right? So the first time I tried to export it, it said an hour and 40 minutes. I'm like, whoa, right? And then I don't know, like I just tweaked a few things, got it down to an hour, but still there's something there that needs to be improved regardless.
Well, so the
Yeah,
question is what format you're exporting it in, what quality you're exporting it in.
it doesn't matter.
Because
It's weird. It doesn't matter.
really,
I took it down to, because this is, at the end of the day, this is YouTube. So we need a certain quality, right? But I haven't, like I said, I probably just need to ask someone, look at someone from my network that uses DaVinci Resolve, and ask them a few questions, or just get a session with them, and get them to optimize my stuff.
interesting.
Mm,
I don't have that with Camtasia. I love Camtasia, just the record. I made a mistake when I
we
bought it and
know,
I didn't
we know.
you. Have I mentioned it before?
You
I
might
think
have.
I did. I might have. It's interesting. I was looking for a free editor with no watermark. And of course I couldn't find one. I didn't find DaVinci. I didn't get to DaVinci. I don't know why. Like and I searched a lot. Um and then I looked into Camtasia and it had everything that I needed. And the beauty is you can define different sizes for exports. So it's not just the quality, it's also the pixel size, like the frame size. So
Mhm.
that changes the size of the file, the weight of the file as well. Um, Interesting. But I have to say, it's interesting that that's what you're focusing on. I'm focusing on, I got a new computer, the camera sucks. And then I'm like, no, the camera doesn't suck. This is a new computer. Your lighting sucks. And now there's light coming in from here and it's still blurry. You're all sharp and I'm all blurry.
Hmm.
And I don't know why. And that's bothering me. So now I'm into getting light set up. I want to buy lighting. I want to do a lot of testing with the lights and whatever. Because I'm thinking it's lighting, maybe. I don't know. I can't
It
get it
could
to be
be.
as sharp.
It could be. I mean, I just have a ring light, not right now, but I just have a ring light and it works wonders. I mean, you can get a bigger one, like I have a small one, you can get a bigger one. I think Doug has a really nice setup, which is super lean, simple, but his videos are always great. There's also this thing that you can put like right below, on your knees to reflect the natural light or something like that. Like it's super, like you
So
can really go
somebody
next
wrote
level.
about the Lume. I think it's Lume. And I looked
Uh-huh.
into that. It's not expensive and it like gives you a broadcast light. I mean, because I was thinking what camera I should get. Maybe I'll change camera. Maybe I'll buy a GoPro. GoPro is about half the price of the computer. I'm not buying a GoPro. It's very expensive.
I
But
know.
and I don't need it because it's also wide lens and I don't want a wide lens. I want it for this. So I'm like now I'm at the point I was telling this to my husband this morning. I'm now building the accessories around the whole, I started with a mic. The mic makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
The next is the camera and the lighting. And so the thing about this Loom Cube or whatever it is like they have three different models that you can use, and it's not that expensive. I mean, the cheapest I think is like $70, but $70 is totally doable.
One of the beautiful things about these conversations is there is, there's this common thread, there's this main topic, and then we go off tangent, we talk about this, we could talk about that. I like the fact that it's not planned, so we're not sitting here, point number one, okay, check.
Oh, agenda,
Two,
agenda.
yes, right? So out of that, there's, I need to clip to make something that's fun, that teaches something that might make someone think, that, right? So the longer it is, the harder that is. Does that make sense?
It does. I want you to install something. This is not necessarily for our podcast.
Mm-hmm.
This is in general. I want you to install this. I want you to install an app called Fathom, Fathom. And I didn't like, I think I didn't even put my Fathom note taker in this time. Or
No,
maybe it
because I
is
would
in,
kick
I
it
don't
out.
know.
I would kick it out.
Yeah, right.
Because of the right the recording.
Well, no, because what I do is I turn off its video and then I hide non-video participants and then it's not in the recording.
Ah, okay.
That's how I get around it. So you let the Fathom recorder in, you just turn it
Mm-hmm.
turns on the video automatically. So then you turn off its video, you stop
Mm-hmm.
video, and you hide non-video participants. And the way that Fathom works, and this is why I think it would be great for your golden snippets in general, it would save you so much time, is when you open Zoom, I use the desktop version, but you have a version that sits in Zoom. And basically on the right, or if it's a desktop version, it's like a loading window, you have buttons and you can define what these buttons are. So I have action item, insight, you would have snippet or, whatever,
Mm-hmm.
feedback, technical question, whatever. And then as someone's talking, you click the button. You don't have to type anything. You can type something like a heading or whatever, but you don't have to type anything. Um, and then it keeps recording until that person stops talking. So it marks the snippet.
Mm-hmm.
And then the beauty of what it does after that is, well, first of all, it's transcribing, so you get a full transcription, which is great later for, subtitles and whatever. No need to go through the script. It just gives you the full transcription. Second of all, you can change the length of the snippet, like the insight, the highlight, just by dragging and like the color marking on the end. And then it will automatically generate that snippet for you just by what you marked. And then you don't have to do any exporting anywhere, like within any app, because it just generated it. What you can do is you'll take that into DaVinci and then add the headings, add the subtitles and whatever, but it's already cut it up for you. Um, and you've just done it based on the text. Or it's interesting. The transcription looks like a WhatsApp feed, like like bubbles coming in from here and there. It's really actually very nice. And the final thing that I love, and this is not useful for you, but this is useful for me in terms of process, is when I'm talking to someone and I have an action item, I'll hit the action item button. It'll start recording, and then I'll give it a title, right? Like create snippets or whatever the snippet is. And then with a click of a button, you can either send it to Slack or you can I send it to Asana, and it creates action items for me in a project in Asana. So I don't have to be busy taking notes throughout the meeting. I never imagined myself working on a job that lets me do what I love doing. Just, I get paid. Although I do want to say I had someone reach out to me when I was just starting out, theoretically, perfect client. They said, we want you to test out one, two, three, four apps for us for, I don't know, was it project management? It was something else. And to tell us which one is best for our workflow. Like, I don't even know these apps. Yes, yes, this is what I want to do. And I found myself hesitating before sending the proposal and hesitating and hesitating. And I was looking inside to why am I not sending this proposal out, today, tomorrow, right away, and start working because they were all ready to pay me. And I could have charged quite a bit and had fun with it. And it ended up that I just, like, when I did the research inside myself, it was I didn't want to work with that particular client. That was like there was something in that meeting that, I learned to trust my gut and say, okay, your gut is telling you not to work with them. But I've worked with an agency and they wanted me to set up some automation in a tool I didn't know. I was like, I've never worked with this. Oh, you'll pick it up in seconds. Just go ahead and do it. Yes. If you can work in what you're passionate about, you're very lucky. And I highly recommend it. I know I'm taking over the conversation, but I do want to share one more thing because I was thinking about it this morning. In 2005, I quit my job, or I tried to quit my job. I was working as an instructional designer at a company that was doing software and hardware for printing. And how I quit my job is a different story, very interesting, but different topic for a different day. I took a year off. And during that year, I was thinking, I want to become an entrepreneur. I want to do video editing for people. This is what I wanted to do. Now, this is 2005. So you have to remember, internet is like basically non-existent. I mean, it's, I don't know, maybe a little bit, but there wasn't really like, there's no YouTube that it is today. It's not as, the tools that were like, it's not everybody was doing their own editing on a home computer, using Camtasia or other tools that we're not going to mention, DaVinci or whatever it is. So, and I remember printing flyers and going up, like mailbox to mailbox and putting the flyers in the mailboxes and putting them on the windshields or whatever. I didn't get even one person. Like I printed, I think, 1,000 of those, and I didn't get even one person interested. And I did them Hebrew and English, like back to back, so you had both languages and whatever. That was my foray into entrepreneurship at the time. And it didn't really succeed. And I was thinking, maybe I'll buy, like, I need to buy bigger discs. I need to buy a stronger computer. I need to buy this. I was like, wait, let's get your first client before you start spending money. And I was working at the time, right? Because I took the year off. And it never got off the ground. But I think that entrepreneur seed was already planted sometime there. And then, 2020 came along and here we are now.
That story segues perfectly into a question that I wanted to ask you, which is when you're talking to potential clients, when you're doing your content on social media, etc., because there's a big part of what you do is tech. is processes, is doing stuff, like connecting stuff, like what's the best technology for you? You know, maybe it won't be the same for me. It'll be a different one for someone else, right? So tech is a big part of it, process is a big part of it. But how do you balance that message, when you're talking to potential buyers? Because I mean, when you you have to, at least this is, and I'll let you answer, right? But the feeling I get is, of course, you can't just talk tech to me, right? Unless I am a tech freak, right? Then yeah, we can connect. But even if I'm not a tech freak, you have to talk to me about, benefits, about, like, what am I going to be saving? What am I, with the headaches, all that stuff. But you kind of always have to show me that your stuff when it comes to tech. So
The balance is a must. I can talk about a tool all I want, but at the end of the day, no tool is going to be right for me if I don't know what my process is, because I'll start using it and then all of a sudden I'll go, hey, wait a minute, I'm stuck. How do I do this in this tool? Okay, let's just try another tool. And then I'll go to another tool and then I get stuck and I'm like, oh, wait, but this isn't working for me. Okay, let's try another, and a lot of people do that. They're working through tools looking for the right tool and they get stuck. And it's not because the tool isn't right, it's because their process isn't well defined enough. And so they don't know what they're looking for in the right tool.
I'm thinking of getting new. I'm going off tangents. Um, I'm thinking of getting new earphones because the sound is it's it's just not there. On some calls it's good, on some calls it feels like I'm underwater. So when you're recording, I feel like I can't trust it enough. And well, these I would just need to change these pads, right? Because they're just literally, if I remove with this heat, if I remove the earphones now, I would have like black leather just stuck here, just hanging. So yeah, I'm thinking September. If this persists, I'm gonna get myself um new
I need
earphones.
earphones. I didn't think of that. So I need a light, camera,
Hmm,
and earphones. But earphones go last on the list. I
hmm.
think light comes first, camera comes second. Because I'm
Okay.
thinking lighting will improve better.
I would love to see you with, these earphones like this, and then you could do what Doug does.
I have to say, I find it funny that he wears earphones. I mean, no, I, I work with Doug. I love Doug. It's just like, I find it so funny. And then he can do whatever he wants with it. And then it's just like, do you see the logo that Dana did for him?
Yeah,
That was phenomenal work. It's so him. It's so like on brand for
amazing.
him.
Amazing, amazing. And I would wear a t-shirt with his, I think in my last post he asked me, like, would you wear a t-shirt with my logo or something? And
Yeah,
heck
he
yeah,
did. He
I
did.
would. Heck yeah,
So
I
why
would.
are you buying his merch?
Because it's non-existent?
No, he has merch now.
Okay, okay, okay. No, get out.
He has merch.
How come I don't know about this? Tell me.
Okay, seems to be a problem. People, if you have merch, put a link everywhere. We were talking about this. People don't know. Zineb, do you have merch?
I have merch. I have merch, yes.
Why is there not a first comment on every single one of your posts that has to do with Pitch Slap that says, do you have Pitch Slap merch? Link. That's it. That's all it has to say.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Weren't we talking about Doug?
We
How
were, but that just goes to prove, I mean, Doug needs to do it, but he's not here, so I can't reprimand him, so I can
oh my
reprimand you.
God. Yeah, we'll make a little snippet and post it again to
I
send
want
her
to
a
send it to
subliminal
Doug.
message.
Doug, were we talking about Doug? Yeah, Doug's not here. Doug, why is there not a comment on the bottom of every one of your posts? I have merch. Buy here now.
Yeah. No, but I haven't seen him. I know he hates selfies, right, Doug? But I haven't seen him with, wearing the t-shirts. I would love to wear that t-shirts. Heck, he should
I
do a
noticed
post.
this. Right. Good.
Just real quick, Doug. I love how this just turned into a message to Doug. But Doug, you should do a post where we all participate and there's a giveaway of 1, 2, 3 t-shirts, something like that. I think that
He
would be
did that.
loads. When?
Where have you been?
I have
If
been
you
here.
buy a t-shirt, he's giving away like 30 minutes for or an hour for cheap. And then if you wear it and you take a photograph of yourself wearing it, he gives you an hour for free or something like that. He did that. He did
Yeah.
exactly that.
First of all, I was talking about a giveaway where it's just a free t-shirt where we have to do something and
Oh,
whoever wins it's a free giveaway. But did he mention it on one post only? Did he post about it once?
yeah.
Yeah, that's where it is. That's the same thing you tell me.
Yeah. It's not enough.
No, they won't.
That went insanely. Like, I don't know if it's viral for you, but that went insane. People were reacting to that. I got connection requests based off of that.
I
It was
did
just
too.
insane.
Yeah, the energy, the message, the vulnerability also. I feel like every time, you know, I've been, I feel like every time I do this, like I talk about, my weak points or, I'm not perfect. Like every time I show that, people they're like, oh, that's humbling, right? And they sort of like open up, and it's just, if you make fun of that situation too, it's just like, oh, it's lighter, it's okay. Same here, same here. Otherwise, they would, feel, kind of ashamed, or maybe they wouldn't be as quick to comment me too type of a thing.
Right. So I remember when I started on early off and I was just doing like automations for emails and whatever. That's
Mhm.
when I just started. And I messed up with my own automation. Like I put double signature or whatever. And I posted about it. And I put a picture of Fozzie Bear going like this, like is a great post. And it exploded because people were like, oh, wait, so you're human? You make mistakes? And I'm like, of course, I make tons of mistakes. So, but it
What?
puts things in a different proportion. I just want to say about that though, over the next 2 weeks, I mean, by the time this is published, it'll be after old news. But I took those first few posts when I started on LinkedIn. I did 2 posts per email service provider. I researched it. I had a funnel going a workflow that I tried to put in place using different email service providers, and I wrote posts about it. I then took the LinkedIn posts and created articles about it. And now, starting 2 days ago, I'm posting carousels based on those articles. So I'm repurposing this content again and again and again. And I could talk about this content for hours as well, like on a podcast or just a video or whatever. So you should not be reinventing the wheel. You should be reusing your content. And just like you said, not one post. I want to see multiple posts about you and your merch. I want to see multiple comments on your post. My email list grew because at the bottom of every one of my posts, I have you signed up for my email, or, you know, want more content like this? And sometimes I have fun with it and it engages with the post. And like I make fun of myself or I make fun of the content or whatever in that. And so it also, people should be reading that comment because a lot of times it changes. A lot of times the same, but often it changes, and then it's like, oh, interesting, that's fun, So, and people sign up. You get 1 or 2 signups a day or a week or whatever, and you grow your list from 0 to 500 pretty quickly. I'm not looking to grow like, what's his name, Justin Welsh, where he grows like to hi to 22,000 new subscribers. I'm not looking to get to that. I want a small engaged audience, people who want my content, are interested in what I have to share. But you build it slowly, and that's why I want merch on the bottom of every one of your posts saying, you talk about different things, but anything that's related to pitch lab or that is not related to anything, and anything with a selfie of you wearing a t-shirt or something, you should say like a comment, want my merch, like that's it, nothing else.
Copy that. Yay! Yeah. And in terms of repetition, I mean, 100%. I also, the first line of the post of our video was classic case of do as I say and not as I do, right? And that's where it is. I mean, repetition is key. The problem with repetition is, well, the first problem with repetition is we think, oh no, I've already said that, I'm going to bore them, right? So once you tell them, they won't remember, and there are different stats to prove that, right? You remember your content more than anyone else, right? So, and then the other part is you get bored from seeing it, right? So you think this constant, I mean, there are evergreen pieces of content from companies that have been like, still there working, and I'm sure that the heads of departments or the teams are just like, please, can we change this, right? But it's working, right? So the key thing here is, how can you keep repeating the same message, so the core, but have fun with it, right? So the same message, you can maybe use a different story, so something fresh, something from yesterday, something, right? So it's the delivery that can change, but you need to make it interesting for you too. Otherwise, it'll get super boring. I always talk about, how 60-70% of what I do on LinkedIn is have fun on LinkedIn, right?
Right. But that's
And
because people come to you for your personality. That's part of why people will come to you specifically. I think you specifically, and I think we said this to Kevin on our last call, the one that I joined, of, you need to talk a little bit more about what you do so people know when they can reach out to you.
Mhm.
And don't be afraid of being boring because you're only boring to yourself. And I would add one more thing to what you just said, and that is, we have a false sense that it's only the same people watching and seeing our content, because if I post something, I know that five or six people are going to comment on it. I know that if you see it or when you see it, you'll comment on it. I know that Doug will often either engage in one way or another. I know, there's certain people that I know that when they see it, they will engage. And it's the same people all the time. These are your support group. These are the people that are not necessarily potential clients, but they're going to be, we support each other. And it's not a pod because I won't comment on, that I won't post on a comment on certain posts of yours if they have certain language or certain things. And
Hmm.
that's fine. There's no you must comment, you must, whatever. But other than those, and so it might seem that we're repeating ourselves to these people, there are lurkers. And there are people who
Absolutely.
didn't see that previous post. And there are people that weren't connected to you when you posted it the first time. So that's three different groups of people that, they don't engage with your content. And even if they have seen it before, they weren't ready for it last time. You never know where you're going to meet.
100%. 100%. And when I said, that 60 to 70% of what I do on LinkedIn is to have fun, and fun does lead to business. And I appreciate you, just reminding me again and again and again. It's whether it's fun, and I've heard that thing about, like your support group or, the people that usually engage with you. It's thanks to them that the lurkers get to see the content, right? And as you
Exactly.
said, it'll click today, it might click in a week, it might click, 2 months from now. It doesn't but anyways, when you have fun with it and you're still playing the attention game, but you don't really get that feedback from the lurkers, you don't get that feedback because they're not there, right? From time to time, they do, come in and leave their opinion or leave a comment. But when you try to make it fun and fresh for you without, changing the main message, um, that is if the main message works, right? But you also try to make it fun. You're playing the attention game with your close network also, right?
Right.
Because I mean, if it's boring, very boring, after a while, Irit, I might even say something to you. I might be like, Irit, you know, yo, spice things up a little bit because it's just getting a little, right? Just because I have that type of, I feel like I can with you. No,
And
but
if it's someone that you can't, then you'll just stop engaging because it's boring for you. And I've
exactly,
done that. Yeah. So you
exactly.
do have to keep it interesting for those people.
On that note, I think we can end season one, well, episode 10 of season one. Edith, what do you think? Hmm?
Season one, 10 episodes. I think it's phenomenal. And I think that that's a good note to end on also because, a podcast is supposed to drive traffic to you as a business. So don't be afraid to season two talk about other things, talk about the same thing, just different format.
Hmm. Exactly. Like we have in this very episode, we brought up subjects that we've already discussed, but in a different way. And
Yeah.
even if we did in the same exact way, you probably don't remember. And I'm not talking to you, Edith. I'm talking
Yeah, I
to
know. I
you
know.
if you're still around at minute 19 or 20 or whatever this is going to be. It's been an absolute pleasure. I'm honored that we're doing this and I have a
Oh,
blast.
me too. Thank you so much. We need to talk about thumbnails next time because we need to do some thumbnails for these.